So, aloha and welcome to Way of the Generator. And guys, for good or for bad, I honestly have learned more about the generator species in the last couple of years that I've been here in Sedona than the previous decade of being involved in human design in Hawaii. And on Kauai, I lived out on 3 or 4 acres, and it was, even when I didn't, but at least part of that time. Um, I interacted not nearly with the same amount of generators as I do here. I mean, my life was basically a projector life, and I only kind of really associated with projectors. Dude, I mean, that's a general statement. I mean, it's not that I didn't have generator friends and I didn't go surfing with them or whatever, but it wasn't in such a context of where I was around people that were really trying to experiment with this information. And it certainly wasn't the volume of live work that I did here for the short period that I did until it was no longer correct for me because, I really, what is a, you guys know what happened. I saw what wasn't working. and then as soon as you, as a projector, dude, just my frequency will let everyone know that I think they're full of shit. and so, yeah, and then that is not popular when it maybe somebody else's trip is that way. And so, being excused from things is not a new phenomenon in my life. and this was an energetic. I was excused energetically, way before there was any clarity. So guys, really, what you're getting from me is really John Martin's perspective in 2015 in a totally evolving art with totally evolving information with humans that are evolving. Okay, and what you're going to find today is that I really don't care what your truth is. I don't care how it works for you. I only care about one thing. Are you figuring it out for yourself? Okay? So we begin where we always begin. We begin with the aura bubble. Guys, at the level of the magnetic monopole, which is, we're going to get to this as we go along in our discussions and so forth. But, as class continues. But, I mean, it's what holds you together in a bubble of illusion that you're separate from all the other bubbles of illusion. And, people start talking about my life, and I just start laughing. I was like, no, it's not your life. I mean, right there, we could just end the discussion. It's the life. And I look at sacral creatures, and I look at the generator species, and I just go, wow, it looks easy enough. But that's set as a projector. I mean, it's really easy to look over there and say that, it's either they're working or it's not. I mean, I don't know what all this mental confusion is about. But just to understand that you're ball in space. You're flying through space. And just get that, and that to stay just relaxed and centered and chilled out in your vehicle, man. I mean, that's the one thing that I look is like, who's relaxed and who's uptight. I mean, I know emotional people need to get upset. Trust me, I get upset plenty. But, there's one thing you really look for is like who's really relaxed and, and not trying to put their trip on you. I mean, that's one thing differentiation really gives you. So trying to standardize anything in this is just, it's folly. So the slide that hopefully by the end of the year you will be sick of and really understand, Yes, the projector, yes, we're sensitive, we are alert creatures, we are watching. And for good or for bad, when we get focused on a generator, we are going right into them and we are sucking the life force out of them. And I don't want to say we're sucking it out, but we're taking the energy in. We take it in deeply. We take it in very deeply. And I do mean for good or for bad, because it's, what sounds like a gift is also a fucking curse. There are lots of days I would hit the manifestor switch if I could and just, fuck everyone and everything. I'm protected, But as generators, and that's what we're doing today, the way of the generator, I mean, you attract, envelop. Your life force gives life. So to really understand that, that's all we're trying to get you to. Again, the manifestor's aura, dense, really dense, pushes, repels. And the reflector, which we'll be getting there, which when we get there, you'll know just how honest I am about really being confused by these creatures. But just to make it simple, that the generator and the projector are much more on this same plane, and the manifestor and reflector, are kind of out of the game in different directions and much more agents of the program. I mean, it's the best way that I can just start to make some general distinctions, beyond aura, but they're much more agents of the program itself, so that's why they are, so many of them can be much more attracted to, transits and these sorts of things. Guys, a generator is a generator, is a fucking generator. You see that red box, dude, that red box is on. As a projector, you be careful, because that red box can also be like the woman in the red dress in the Matrix, something that will distract you completely from your own truth. But this is roughly 70% of the world. So, I mean, as you go out there into the world, I mean, there is no way that you're not going out into sacral life force. And as a generator, to understand that you are open, you are enveloping, and you are already attracting life. Whether emotional or splenic or manifesting, I mean, at this level, it makes no difference. It really doesn't. I mean, we'll make those clear distinctions as we go along. Then in the generator's natural state of waiting, and I don't even like waiting, let's just call it being. In the generator's natural, I mean, we say waiting because we need something to try to get the reins on the horse and go, guys, just take your foot off the fucking gas pedal for a second, and you might be amazed at what you find, But that the generator's, aura in its natural state of being, the aura already is pulling life to it. And the body is there designed to respond to what is correct for you. I mean, that's how you guys are wired. I mean, you're wired that way. And so as soon as your mind starts trying to get something, or you move towards something, yes, I'm making a strong judgment about, the human design community itself. It's like, so many people are trying to get something with this information. And that answers some of your questions early in class. It's like, are some of the people gone? Yes. Why? Because they were trying to get something. And as soon as I detect that in them, we get to have a talk. And a lot of times they don't like that talk. So, it's just the way it is. And these are the same people that 5 years later come back and go, okay, I've talked to every teacher on the planet, and you're the only asshole that wasn't lying to me. At least you told me the truth. I didn't like it. It pissed me off. I mean, even this week, I got an email from someone from 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. They're like, I hate you. Will you work with me again? I got mad at you. And just know that this is what's going on. That, the projector view can be very cutting. I get that, and it's what, especially me. I mean, it's all that I got, So, the sacral center, it's regenerative. It replenishes itself by being used up. What is there for your life? What is really there for your life? When your energy is used correctly, you feel deeply satisfied. You feel enlivened, enriched in the energetic exchange. I like to say, guys, your energy is your commodity. It's like breaking out your wallet and throwing $100 bills. You better be stoked. Joan, you're showing me that. I mean, I see when you're doing something you want to be doing.
Versus, I should do that.
Versus some of the shit that just has to get done. I mean, there is just not, guys. I mean, unless you're just so I don't know, so affluent that, that you don't have to do the shit that just has to get done. But even that has timing to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that you really you quit pushing on life, and you see that each time that you make that step for yourself is you get more, and you get more juice. So, something to just pay attention to, guys, really. It's like, and again, I know it sounds simple, but I've watched you guys for a long time here. And I get your dilemma. I do, these sounds that this aha or this or this guys, you're all doing that all the time. Whether or not you express that word that outwardly or not, but as children, for sure, you were stripped of this, by the very people that said they loved you. I mean, you were just like the projector seeing was stripped from it at a very early age, and we were told, you can't just say, which was not necessarily a bad advice for the projector, because it is a little true, but we lose trust in it. The generator loses trust in its own natural life force, because parents don't know to respect the energy of the child. And I remember that day. Oh my God, the day I took you to the doctor there at the hospital for your wrist, and there was a woman on the phone going, she's doing a really good job. She's just on them, and every time they mess up, she please, say please and thank you and clean up and I'm just like listening to someone tell another parent about how they were doing a good job parenting, and I'm just going, oh my God, this poor child. I've seen this, that no one gave anybody the generator instruction manual, so being mad at your mommy or daddy is not going to help. But just know that in doing the best they could, they probably stripped you of all of your natural right to your own energetic life. I'm not saying that your own mind wouldn't have gotten in there through the conditioning and so forth, but I mean, from the very moment, they stick you in a crib. I mean, dude, and then they make you go to school, and then they make you go to bed, and it's like, Jesus Christ, man, there's nothing less natural for a generator.
And they make you eat things.
Yeah, they make you eat things. Are we having a moment?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Now see, look, that response came way before any thinking about it. This is like, there's no thought, There's no ask me, So before the response is stifled, just look at kids, dude. I think this is the way, and we're going to be talking a bit about my crazy friend, Dr. Doug, here today. But, he loves babies and they love him. And it's, I think they just, there's this, first of all, he's living in a different stratosphere than the rest of us. One that may be somewhat enhanced by the same chemicals going on in a baby's brain, But, the response is stifled, from the moment the generator comes into the world, it's like it gets stifled, but they have it. Just watch a kid. Stick something in front of him, a banana, dude, they don't have to go, that's not a requirement here. You will see the body retract. You'll see it, it looks like this little girl with the piano. This is pretty much what Jones' no looks like. To this day.
I recovered my no.
You recovered your no. Yes, you like to look at that. And it's funny because on the, I've shared maybe before that on the little things, she responds, it's just like, it's just naturally coming out. But on the big things, it's like, whoop. It's such a cut, dude. It's like this little girl. It's like, no way, you're moving it, And then what would the parent do? No, you need to practice your piano lessons.
Yeah, there was that. I forgot.
Maybe we should have you on today, too. You're having all sorts of great reactions over there. This is lit. Now, guys, look, passenger consciousness. Okay, let's return. You're flying in a bubble through space in the illusion that you're separate from anything and anybody else. Okay, it's an illusion. Passenger consciousness. Passenger consciousness means that you don't know where you're going. And for a sacral being, you are here to know your truth by what your energy feels good about going towards, okay? Or what's not good for it. Now look, it's scary. I get it, dude, because if you actually let go of what you think and what everyone else fucking thinks, and you end up in this, you don't know who you are. I mean, I don't know any generator that could say, I know who I am. They can know what their energy is. And this is where I continually say, guys, you gotta be present. If you can't understand the basic art of being present, I don't know what we have in human design that can help you. That doesn't just become more mental and take you further and further down the drain of, a logical code. And those of you that are wired that way, and see, for me, the logic happens in my body. I'm very logical in the body, which means that I am always testing and retesting the pattern. I don't find the first pattern that works and say, this is it. I'm like, okay, that, I take it in. Let's work with it. Let's work with it. But as a generator, you are here to know yourself. I am here to over there just it's John, what to do. But, what if you don't like what you see? Dude, your mind's not going to like what you see. For years, I've been trying to share with you guys, like, if my mind is freaking the fuck out, totally scared, I'm generally going in the right direction. Now, there may be a little bit more alignment to that, but it's still true, okay? So passenger consciousness, by its very nature, means that you do not have any clue where you're going, and that includes all types, okay? And for the generator to really give itself over, I mean, think of how many years each of you've been in school, you've been taught to be strategic, make lists, what do you try to get done? All of this stuff. Guys, it's a big battle. I do get it. I do. I sympathize with your plight. I wish that sympathy could be exchanged somehow, but the more I'm around generators, the more I see that ain't gonna happen. I mean, there really is no way for you guys to get a glimpse into our world, and we're fascinated by yours. I mean, I don't mean that you can't recognize a projector or see. I mean, many of you are here. That's cool, dude. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this is the most generators I've ever had in a class. I mean, usually it's all projectors. We'll see if they stick around. I mean, and the other thing is that it's not. I'm not saying you should. I'm the last teacher in the world that thinks anybody should do anything, or that I think I know anything. I mean, that's. I was talking to Randy, Randy Richmond, the head of the Human Design Standards Board, this morning, and he's laughing. He's like, dude, nobody knows shit. I mean, we are all so helpless and stupid, and, it was really funny. It was nice because, he's one of the guys that, he's got his trip, I got mine, and we're slowly working that out. But that he does get it. It's like, yeah, we got this code and it's easy and you can look at all this stuff. But at the end of the day, and now we're back to John's world. We're in a universe that's fucking exploding. I mean, billions of years of evolution. Here you are thinking that your life is somehow more significant than a piece of sand on the beach. I'm sorry. I don't, the sand on the beach might have a better destiny, we don't get to choose those things. And then how we're here to respond to such different things, or generators are here to respond to such different things. It's like, stuff that would just feel like, oh my God, I see people just going, oh, this is what I want to do. This is really, And that's their energetic truth. I mean, even you, Joan, when you're working on videos, is like knitting or whatever. It's like wow, dude. I mean, yeah.
And it surprised me. I mean, yeah, it's just been pretty surprising.
Right.
What's showed up.
Right.
Yeah.
And what you
and
have
what I
energy
used
for.
to do,
Right. I'm basically having an oh shit, right. Did I say I was gonna do that? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So just know that like guys, this is what I mean. Just you gotta figure it out for yourself. Looking at your wiring, you may start to see a tendency, just as if after all this time, I see that I'm generally looking at certain things. I'm looking for what's not working, and then out of that, I'm trying to distill what could be useful. It's no different than a generator. You're responding to certain things, and you generally probably will respond to those sorts of things until you don't, or until you put that in your mind and you think, well, I'm a tribal generator, or I'm an individual, or whatever your trip is, and you think that means that you're waiting somehow for that to appear in your life. No, guys, life is coming towards you at 160,000 miles an hour. Every time you move towards it, you put yourself out of frequency. Please know that. And there is no right and wrong here. There is no good and bad. It's what's correct for your energy and what's not. I'm gonna have a moment.
Oh, is this the time?
Yeah, I don't know if this is,
okay.
This is one of the times. Okay, guys, I actually think this should be the whole presentation. This one slide. Your energy is either enriched, enlivening. It feels like a deep forest that you're in. You feel satisfied. It doesn't mean that you won't hit frustrations. It doesn't mean there'll be no traffic in your life, or the luggage doesn't get lost on the fucking airplane. But basically, you're living in a frequency of life regenerating itself. Or you're not. And what does that feel like in your body? It feels like frustration. It feels like your energy is not being well used. It's not being respected. And, you think you generator people can push each other around. I mean, you should try being a non-energy being around, that frequency, because it's a trip, dude. And it's a trip to really see that they have no idea, for the most part. Most humans just have no idea. They're just barreling down. I mean, just the other day, I was out hiking here in one of the most beautiful places on the planet. I'm in Sedona right now. We'll see how long. I'll know when I move. Two guys coming down the trail, backpacked. They were obviously the serious hikers. They weren't just me out just cruising with my tripping out and thinking about things, or being still or quiet, or bringing myself back into my body. All of the things that I spend most of my day doing. I mean, they came by me. I stepped 2 feet off the trail because, dude, it's just easier. It ain't open emotional. It's just they're down. I mean, just get the fuck out of the way. I was 2 or 3 feet out of their trail. They barely saw me, which is typical of the generator and projector relationship. Energetically, they weren't even aware that I was there until I was like in their face, which is, again, typical of the generator projector relationship. And dude, their energy almost pushed me another foot or two. I mean, I was like, and it was frustrated, and it was like, guys, you're on vacation. You're obviously, they weren't locals, because I would know who they are. And no. Well, we did this face today. We need to do that face tomorrow. And it's like, and this is your fucking vacation? I watched this in Kauai. I've watched it now because I've lived in, most of the places I've lived are places that people would like to visit for their vacations. And I've just been like, wow, dude, they never unplug. They never slow down. There's no sense of what's happening energetically, in their own bodies. They're just trying to get to the next thing. And guys, as long as that's what your energy is saying yes to. But I mean, it was so obvious. Did you get that head down, pushing frequency? And guys, it's this simple. If I only had one slide to give a generator, this would be it. Regeneration, degeneration. On, off, on, off. We're just trying to hit the on signal, let's say 70%. Okay, let's not make this into I'm doing it right or correct. Let's make this into I'm generally going with my energy. Let's make that good enough today, okay? Because if not, you're going to get in this really mental trip that we'll get into in a second about how this is all working for you. Regeneration, degeneration. It's funny because I'm just realizing I left a place that looked more like regeneration and moved to a place that looks a lot like the degeneration to discover what the fuck was going on with generators. I know, I just had that, dude, I didn't see that until right now. I was like, wait a second. I came to the desert,
gnarly desert.
to a gnarly desert to learn about generators? That seems odd. Dude, you don't have to be in charge. The quicker you can get your hands off the rein, the better this is all going to be. I mean, truly. And that you're really looking for this, this signature of satisfaction. There is being well used. Like your commodity, your energy is being, received, loved, appreciated, and I can tell you when it's not, at least in my world, when you're pushing on me. As soon as you start pushing on me, I'm not saying I don't have to deal with this at the bank and all this stuff, but in the world that I live in, which is basically teaching this art and being around other people, that as soon as I see they don't even have that much awareness, that they don't even get that they're pushing, bye. I'll see you in another 7 years. We'll see if that works out for you, And then to understand that you can live, I like how the head's almost covered, and it's just like, dude, you can just live in this like state of almost like skydiving, energetic, jump. And you get to see what happens, okay? So is my video locked up on your end?
No, it's not.
No, it's funny because it is on mine.
Is it still?
Anyway. Yeah. And it's a dumb motor, guys. It's a dumb motor. It might make sounds, or it might talk or move or towards something or away from something. Yes, no questions, this whole thing, and I understand it's so in fashion. All the cool kids are doing it. Whatever, dude. It's being packaged and sold as if this is the way. I've been kicking this whole yes, no question thing around for a decade, guys, and where I'm going to both acknowledge some value at one level, I'm also about to attack it. So if you are one of these people that is your way, I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking that barely works for anyone that I've ever seen. And that they are truly like training wheels. Maybe if you really don't have any body awareness or consciousness at all, and you need someone to ask you a question to find out what's going on in your body, okay. But that puts you in a very precarious position of relying on other human beings, and hopefully ones without agendas, because in the beginning, I can get a generator to respond to just about anything, guys. I'm just going to be honest with you. I know how to get in there and play the game. And so many times that I've seen this, really trap people as much as it's freed people, and that understand that there is an evolution here at work. I'm saying, look, if this is really your way and you need a question to find out what your truth is, I honor that. But I would also encourage you to keep going. Go further. Even here we have the picture of the little girl with the training wheels. There's even an evolution there, dude. You know, now they have the bikes where the kids actually push themselves, but they have to balance. There is nothing to catch them. So they learn to actually get the balance that's required. And that, you know, a lot of times when people are coming to me with these, you know, so many times, will you ask me a question? You already fucking responded. Now I got to ask you yet another question as if that was my job to do for you so you can verify it for yourself. Why not just drop into your own body? And then on the other side of that, and you'll see that most of the people that find any help or say this is helpful, you'll see they have splits. And a lot of times these splits are seeing something like almost like a projector that they want anyway, and then they ask someone to ask them that question, and it's like, dude, it can get so distorted so quick. I'm just saying, look, I know it's been put out. I know that I've put it out. I also know that I've actually been working one-on-one with people with that for close to a decade, you know, with at all levels in live work and one-on-one and so forth. And I've actually seen it become more of a mental trip than any sort of an energetic truth for most people. So look, if it helps you learn to ride the bike, that's great. But I'm saying let go of the training wheels unless you need them. I mean, please, because it's not going to help us evolve human design and what is body consciousness and how to hand this to the next generation if we're stuck in some little box that you got to have someone ask you if you need a cup of coffee or whatever. You know, and if you are going to have anybody ask you questions, like, don't go beyond a cup of coffee. Yeah. You know, I mean, I watch people just come in with these outrageous questions, like life-changing shit come right at people with them. And it's like, whoa, you know, there's an evolutionary process. This takes time to trust yourself. It takes time to figure out yourself. And, you know, I'm going to give you the extremities of this as well, guys. It's like, you know, I have one friend that's a 6'2" generator with 16 to 18 years in this art. I have another friend that's a 6'2" generator that's been in this art for just as long. One of them, to this day, can't trust their body consciousness enough to let it drive, even in spite of me showing them or trying at least on time and time again when they weren't doing this clunky asking themselves question thing, that their energy came more clearly, and I trusted that more. I have another friend, I had to explain what and meant to him. That's Dr. Doug, dude. We were, I mean, first of all, we were here, and it was a fun night, and Devin was here, and, you know, it was, and it was like, and I explained this, okay, so now you're supposed to ask me, and then I'm supposed to ask you. I mean, it's just, you know, I don't even want to get into the silliness because, again, it just puts you back in your mind. But there was another manifester, a friend from LA here, and we needed his chart. You know, he's like, well, you know, because this happens. My friend Dr. Doug turns all these people onto human design, and a lot of them end up coming to see me because, you know, he's on to the next thing. He's a manifesting generator. You know, he's not a projector that's going to sit there and see what's going on. So this manifester wanted me to look at their chart, and then so the manifester, Doug, will you get the chart? Yeah. Okay. You know, and then a few seconds later, we're like, so are you going to get that chart? And he goes, oh, I guess I'm basically having an I mean, he literally said that, and we all just fell down. Because unless his body moves, he doesn't move. And so as soon as you get in this trip that you need questions or someone's supposed to ask you questions, look at the rest of the world. You expect people to walk up to you and ask you questions? I mean, it is like the recognition of the projector. People do just walk up to me and ask me what the hell is going on. It's strange, you know? So as a generator, as you evolve in your own trip, you very well may find that people start to approach you correctly. I acknowledge that. But on the day-to-day world, you know, I mean, you know, that this whole idea that somehow you need some verification through a sound that you've already made internally, if not externally. again, guys, this I mean, how many readings? I mean, I have thousands on my computer, hundreds, if not thousands, on my computer. I'm sitting there all day with the whole session. Yeah, I mean, all these sounds are coming out, and then I go, okay, you want? And they're like, well, what about the question thing? I'm like, okay, well, is your favorite color yellow? Straighten their heads. It's like as soon as you take that moment to think about the fact that a question is coming at you, you go right in your head. So again, guys, I've seen generators already have a response and then go looking for a question to verify it. I'm talking about energetically. And again, you need that, that's your way. But I've actually seen 95% more of this. This whole mental, who's going to ask me, and was that really my response? And then you get into the whole waiting versus being aspect of like, oh, I'm supposed to wait for my life to come to me. Will anybody ever ask me again? Dude, nobody has to ask you. Okay. Your body's always responding. Generators respond to life, okay? You are life. If the questions help, use them. But look, this is body consciousness, right? Human design, the art of body consciousness. Your field is already pulling what's right to you. If you're responding to it, your energy's rising up to meet that. I'm saying going and finding someone to ask you some silly question about it is just you're messing up your own flow, and it's really that simple. I mean, again, and I see the extremes. Both of these people that I'm talking about have the gate of extremes. One must be asked a question, or they don't trust themselves until they hear a sound. The other doesn't even know that they're making sounds, and just their body moves, or they're on to the next thing. And it's so bad. I don't know if you remember that one night that I was like, because when Dr. Doug's in town, it's a full ride. And if he comes while we're in Jedi training, we'll bring him in just for fun one day or something, maybe on Unleashed. But I said we're out there, and he still has no idea what a projector is, just like every generator on the planet. I mean, the guy taught me human design, and it's like he's like, I don't really understand this energy thing about you. Why? Yeah, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you being you?
yeah. But in a laughing, giggling way. I mean, not a personal attack or anything. And then literally, we have a discussion, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, we'll take the night off. I get it, man. You're beat, you're tired. We don't need anybody else coming over tonight. I get that. I was like, oh, really, Doug? And he's like, yeah, dude, that feels right, dude. We'll just take the night off. Let's call those girls. I mean, dude, literally, like 3 seconds later, his body picks up the phone and calls, and it's like, dude, I already know this movie, dude. I mean, I know this fucking movie. I'm not getting in front of this bus. I can either leave or stay in the van or get on the bus. I mean, it's really funny. So, I would allow body consciousness first. Sounds, become aware of them. You guys are mostly making them all the time, either internally or externally. And like I'm saying, I don't need to hear any sounds to know what's going on with you. I can see it. And I've seen so much distortion between what the split wants and whatever, the split asking to be asked questions about what it already sees it wants to have happen or do. I mean, it's a very tricky thing, guys. So don't mind fuck yourself with that. Please don't mind fuck yourself with that. Figure out how it works for you in your body. You're primal. You are life. You are much closer to a gorilla than you are to a projector. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. I don't mean to offend anyone, but the difference is that vast. I can see the primate kingdom being much closer to the life force on the planet than it is to the projector, because we're just in this different fucking universe, dude. And yet we're here to interact with you. And so look, This is John's opinion. Dude, this is not John had is, whatever. Dude, this is 10 years of kicking this mechanic, playing with this mechanic, watching people get lost in it, and watching people try to put on these little, these glass slippers that don't fit. I know people that have been in human design like up to a decade that are still mentally mind fucked by who's going to ask me and is anyone ever going to ask me and all this stuff, and was that really my response? Now look, it's their destiny to go through that. There's no judgment of that. I'm just saying there is only one way, yours. And yeah, you guys are making so many sounds. You make more sounds than you know. If you become aware of that, that's great. But I would really look for this expansion, contraction in the body. I would actually be looking for that as much more of a verification, because that is a mechanical thing that actually happens in the sacral. It either opens or it doesn't do anything. It just kind of baselines, so this kind of, or it retreats. I mean, that's something physical that I can experience as an open sacral being. I'm sharing it with you because we're evolving. Some people are, they got their way and that's their way. Let them have it. I'm saying take what works and keep moving. There's only one mantra for this class, guys, and you know it. Further. Wherever you think you're at in your process, further. And you can only go further if you hear. And you can only get yourself if you're not following in anybody else's footsteps, man. We are all here to walk our own trails, and that's it. Did I miss anything in there?
Mm-mm. No, I really like what you said. I was even thinking, figure it out. The figure it out kind of sends people. I have seen it already. Yeah, sends people to their mind, and I really like that you said, gets a sense of that expand, contract, or flatline. Yeah. Yeah.
That if sounds need to accompany that, that's fine. Mm-hmm. I have no. That's not a judgment about that. Is that expansion and contraction is a physical thing that's happening. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's just because I'm a projector, it's so obvious, or that I actually, like I said, when people come at me with information, I take it and test it. That's what this human design does. It's insatiable about testing and retesting patterns to see if they work. And, I invite you to take the training wheels off and jump the Grand Canyon. I want to see you guys out there on your own, just fucking sailing down hills.
And it does feel like skydiving when I am. Yeah. At times I'm like, holy.
Right. What's going on?
Yeah, right?
And the mind is frightened.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, as a projector, dude, that there is nothing more natural than for me to be checking with you, mm-hmm. or whoever, mm-hmm. what their truth is.
Yeah. And it comes in naturally.
It's the natural. It's so natural. Mm-hmm. And again, the people, just look for it. The people that really get themselves wrapped up in this trip are generally splits. And if you're, I'm sorry, we should have talked about this. Half the generators on the planet, this doesn't apply to at all. Because you're fucking emotional. Mm-hmm. And it's not your authority. And you can't be, this silly ass question things of an emotional being is just, dude, that's so far from what being an emotional being is, as far as this projector can tell. Dude, life is coming. Even needing to be asked questions is a way for your mind to get away from, get out of the initiation. Mm-hmm. The one human that I know that swears this process worked or is working for them, and I don't judge that. It probably is. It's their trip. They didn't have people asking them questions at first. That wasn't going on. And then you go to these things and people are just like, do you want to move here? Do you want to move? It just looks like puppets. It just looks like people pulling each other's strings. And I watch because I can see this shit, because I am paying attention. People's mental agendas and trying to get people's energy to do what they want. And when people say they have no agenda and don't even realize they have an agenda because it's unconscious, but they're not interested enough to even look at that. you know what? Everyone gets what's perfect. Just like I started class with today. You get here, you don't get here, you're in this class, you go away. Couldn't care less. Doesn't matter to me a millisecond. It can't at this point. I can't be me and worry about you. You can't be you and worry about anyone else. I mean, you may respond to taking care of people, you may respond to helping out or doing whatever. Okay. Yeah, well, that was a bit of a tangent, but that was also a decade of my life. I think I've earned the right to go, okay, yeah, it's a dangerous road you're traveling down. And it's I've seen it do more harm than good.
Yeah, and I've seen it even like ask the same question 4 ways to make sure.
Right.
Yeah.
It's clunky. It's clunky. And especially when the projector's with you, this whole like back and forth energetically, it's like being going down some bumpy dirt road instead of like this flowing energy. And that's also the difference. Here's this clunky energy, and here's this flowing, energetic, just in the now movement of energy. As a projector, I look at that. As a surfer, I look at that. As a guy who understands how energy works at a very different level, at a kind of a Marshall level in human design, I don't know if you're just putting it in, even if you think it's your trip, I'm wondering if you could let go of it for a second and just see if your body just doesn't go where it was supposed to be all the time anyway, and those were just training wheels. Again, that's only for half the generators, none of this fucking applies. None of it. I mean, dude, you've got to get, the emotional clarity. I mean, remember, the sacral is a dumb motor. There's no awareness. It doesn't know what it's doing. It doesn't understand the energy it's putting out or pushing or pulling or any of it. It's stupid. The emotions aren't stupid. The emotions is an evolving awareness center. It's an awareness through time. And it's based on taking a lot of different measurements and readings, guys. So the more you can allow for that emotional clarity, and this is for all emotional beings, and we'll be doing the emotional center ad nauseum soon, is that you get this emotional clarity, and it's like there's this relative calmness in the body. And again, guys, you're only looking to be 70% clear that this feels like it's basically the right direction. That's the best you're going to get as an emotional generator. It basically feels energetically like it's sort of the right direction 60 or 70% of the time. It's okay if you hate your boyfriend 30% of the time. It's okay. As long as you're in that, generally I like them. Generally this feels right for my life, emotional space, for all of you emotional beings. That's it. And calmness even is it, and nervousness being gone and all of that. Nah, dude, those are just, again, words, and we can almost go back to the mental dilemma slide. The problem about teaching human design is every time we tell you something or we share a mechanic with you, yes, it might be exciting. Yes, you might look at something and go da-da-da-da. But then what happens? Your mind's got more ammunition, Really, be careful, guys. Be careful. And I think there would be no better design, really, to survive this plane than being an emotional generator. Because you'd have the energy and you'd basically be going on what you feel. And that's not even something that you got to get to soon or in the now in any way. So it just absolves you of any of the silliness of questions ever, really. It's just like basically my energy is going to be going that way. I'm speaking as a self-empowered projector, but I would have you be able to stand in your own truth, come what may. I would have you be able to tell me, in the body, what is really your truth. I'm sharing these things with you, but look, honor me. Honor me by killing your teacher. That's how you honor the teacher, by killing the teacher. There is not a real martial artist on this planet that does not bow in reverence every time a student bypasses them. It's not egoic. Dude, I'm trying to help you guys. And a lot of you, I'm trying to help you get unraveled from what's being handed down is like, this is how it works. Because I haven't found this is how it works yet.
For everybody.
I've found tendencies, I see patterns, but, there's not a collective statement I can make. Now, you EMGs, if you're even still here. Because truly, no matter how stupid you think a generator might be, they cannot meet the stupidity of an MG. It's impossible. You guys are wired for fucking power. You've got you got too many, you hit the NOS or whatever they call it in the sports cars, like the nitrous oxide that like burns up everything in the engine and stuff, but makes the car like jumps at like 40% in power. It's like, guys, really, a very dear friend, though, the girl that helped me move here to Sedona. It just means she caught me at the airport from Hawaii and drove me out here. Rented a car. And last year, when she was in Jedi training like 2 or 3 years ago, she goes, "Well, can I wait by not stopping?" I said, "Yeah, you can. You can wait by not stopping, as long as you're not going towards anything you think you like, and your energy does need to be used, and it's being used in a way." But MGs, they're already going to skip steps, and they're already going to get pissed off anytime. And this is funny. Anytime that Dr. Doug has to back up, then we're having a problem. But it's because he's just jumping, and yeah. But missing steps, burning out. All of this stuff. And what does it mean? It simply means the sacral goes to the throat. One configuration or another. So a lot of times it's like, I'll be with an MG and their response will be, "Yeah, that sounds great." It just comes out. It comes out before mine. Guys, I would learn I'm not going to say learn to trust it. I would say experiment with it. See, okay, that was really my energy. There was no thought. Yeah, I'll do it. It's like, that's very different than being pressured by your open ego and then that having to go through the mental stream and then down to get the energy to say, "Okay, I'm going to do it." That was very projector, wasn't it? Dude, you guys think I can't see this? You don't think that I don't see how you're doing what? And as I said yesterday, I've been given the right to remain silent. Just often lack the ability, even as a projector, guys, because I don't give a shit anymore. I did the whole sit down and shut up thing long enough for me to know how my trip works. Come what may, like it or not. And that's what I'm inviting all of you to. If you're not responding with this carried away, insane energy, just like, yes, I'm going to reclaim my life. I'm willing to fight to the death for the right to be me. If you're not that kind of a spirit of a person, I'm the wrong teacher. And I don't mean that, the way of the Jedi is just something you borrow until you get to the way of Joan or the way of John or it's your way, that this is an art that you practice every day, like a martial art response in the now.
What I and I don't know if this is the time, it may be in another set of lectures, but what I have met a lot of emotionally defined manifesting generators, which seems like a huge conflict. Right. Like, oh my God, I wouldn't want to have to do that.
It's a conflict of interest.
Something.
Right. How do you do that?
Yeah. So I don't know if you have anything to say today.
That your life is busy. What to do? You're going to have and guys, it doesn't mean it has to be busy. It means you're probably going to be busy, and that you're just not going any new direction until you really feel the clarity of it, and that you're really responding to life rather than trying to put your trip on it. That's all. dude, it's only about one truth. It's yours. I don't know how many different ways I can say it, you know? Unable to achieve mental goals. You know, damn it. What did your friend say? Why do it tomorrow when I could just take care of it today? Or something like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
It's something like that.
Like the pressure.
Yeah, it's like just pressure, you know?
Yeah.
So guys, get to know frustration the same way I know bitterness. I don't know if, I don't think frustration is a momentary thing for you either. I think it's going to be a long time for it to work through yourselves. And when you get loaded up with it again because you get yourselves in the wrong situations, well, it's a process to really start to distinguish, is my money being well spent? Your money is your energy. As a generator, you only have one commodity, it's your energy, okay? Doesn't mean that you can't be brilliant and beautiful and 100 million other things. It just means that's your main commodity, just like our main commodity is to see. And so it's funny, your generators talking about what they see. It's like, well, yeah, but your bandwidth is here, and we're over here, dude. So don't tell me what you're seeing about me, because you're not even in the same frequency range. You can't be. I mean, I see that. You cannot like me, and you can respond to me all you want. I mean, I couldn't care less. But I can see when, it's kind of like this. Like, here we go. I'm going back. It's like, I have a split too in my design, because I kept hitting on the split thing that I've been watching especially with the question thing, with so many people where the split and the energy are separated. My split sees things all the time it would like to do. I do not go and ask someone to invite me to do it. I mean, that's like you. I mean, that's what I'm saying is, like, I see these people, they want this thing already. You can feel that they want it. And then they're just trying to get someone to ask them a question so that they can somehow make it okay that they go ahead and do that. That would be the same thing as me seeing myself and then asking you to invite me. Hey, would you invite me? Would you invite me to do the thing I'd like to do? Dude, just live. Live and don't mind fuck yourselves. Okay. A new addition to the slideshow this year. Our generator's here to get shit done. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I suppose some of them are. I suppose some of them are collecting butterflies. I mean, but is that getting shit done? It's like, I love this. The time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time. Dude, you can't waste time. You can only be here now as yourself. And just when someone tells you, how many generators I know that are laying on couches, dude, especially like the first couple of years. I mean, people that go through a real transition in this, and I'm thinking of a good MG friend in California right now. Dude, I mean, she's just been laying on a couch for a year and a half. Barely enough energy to make her daughter's lunch. And our only discussions is, it's okay. That you've been pushing yourself for so long that if you guys need to drop and just lay there for a year or two, the same way projectors get to sit around for 5 to 7 until anybody actually starts to realize maybe we see something. Why aren't they so? It was funny. I remember the kite surfers. I'd hang out at the kite surfing beach as much as I would kite surf, And they'd come, get their shit. I got an hour between this and my next appointment, and I just feel like, Jesus Christ, man. And then that finally, but and the surfers too, they're like, dude, after a few years, people were just, that's how my human design career started, because people could just finally were like, dude, he's watching what's going on, man. He sees us all doing our, there was some recognition. And that was where the first invitations came from, pulling me off a beach. I assume it would be the same as a generator. I know it is.
It is.
Yeah. You're just left in this place of, will anyone ever ask me again? Maybe not, but you don't need that. You can respond to life. I can react to life. And I don't mean react as a mental reaction, but life invites me. I was trying to share this, life invites you to respond to it. Yeah, I mean, really. And so just, dude, figure it out for yourself. Generator rule: no bedtime, no schedule. Sleep alone if possible. This one's funny because last week there was a generator at MG, and I was like, okay, well, I have no concept of schedules and timing and things like this. And I was like, it's just getting to a point where I might be able to open enough of a window to spend a little time with them. And I asked one question, they answered a different question. And then they gave me their schedule, for the next 3 days. There was this 2-hour window and then that hour window. And then I was just like, okay, well, how about when you're not busy? when you have a moment, you can, we'll take a moment.
And this really, to me, means that there is no, for the generator, it's use your energy.
Yeah.
Until you're done.
Until you're done.
So the no bedtime doesn't mean don't go to bed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just saw it a different way.
Right. Oh, yes.
Like last night, 2 nights ago, I was in my bed at 7:30. Last night, not till 11:30.
Yeah. I make it to between 9 and 10 generally, and I get up about but I'm pattern oriented. But that in human design we're throwing all the 8 hours of sleep and how many calories a day and what's good and bad. Dude, it's all gone out the fucking window, man. It's all gone. All gone. And sleep alone if possible. I mean, I think it's just as important, for a generator as it is for a projector. I can see where people would make an energetic argument that it isn't because they don't necessarily, it's not the energy that they're burning up all night. Like projectors sleeping with anybody else, almost, whether generator or not, almost definitely will become a generator field of energy. If not, I mean, we're just sucking it like a straw all night. But I mean, no one should sleep with anyone else, really, guys. I mean, it's just a way for you to get some clean time in your aura. And anybody that cruises by and meets me will see how hermity I live. I mean, I just don't expose myself to that because it's like you wake up all not you, and there's enough work to do all on your own. Trust me, there's plenty of battles to be had, and it's not about winning every battle. Battles are lost in the same spirit they're won, guys. Battles are lost in the same spirit they're won. That's what I'm saying. Figure it out. See how it works. Don't be afraid. Don't let this make you into an idiot or a clone or I'm so sick of watching people try to put on glasses and shoes that aren't theirs. And then they walk around and it looks like a guy in high heels or something. It's like, that was the image I just got. It's like, dude, those are so not your fucking shoes.
Unless they are. Yeah. For some guys.
Or maybe for some guys. Yeah. Ask me if I want these shoes that I already want.
Exactly. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually really good. You flashed me back till the first year I was here, and I think that's what's happening. I'd already responded to something.
Right.
And I asked, waited till I got a question to verify.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I'm saying take the training wheels off. Go ahead and be okay discovering your own truth, and know that that's all you're doing, and there is no one here that can tell you correct, incorrect. Even these words I don't like anymore because they become like these. It's like we have this system of differentiation and everybody having their own truth and being free, and then we try to put them and stick them in a line and say this is how it works. It's like, oh well, that's too bad. But you'll also see that most of those people are stuck in the past and they're not going to evolve. That's where that's their trip. It's like, okay, well, no, I have to redo everything every year because I'm evolving, and I'm not sharing what Ross said or what I read in a book. I'm sharing, hey, this is what I see. And yes, buy the book because I'll forget most of that shit, as we go along, and I'll be lost in my stories and be making fun of you guys, and myself. the same time, I mean, last week when I've experienced bitterness at a level that I didn't even know was possible. In the last few years, numerous times, from other people trying to tell me what my carried away trip is supposed to look like, as if I could even know that, much less them. So you just try experimenting with, stop initiating. Just that. Stop moving towards things, A good way to start, and guys, I said a good way to start, not to be an idiot the rest of your life. Don't speak until spoken to. Just see if anybody comes towards you. And how many people that are supposedly energetically aware do we know that just come crashing in on us? I mean, just crashing in. When you and I are sitting in it, we got 9-0. There should be no room for anyone else. I mean, what you have to overcome to crash into my aura and your I mean, you got to be unaware. You got to be pretty unaware to crash into that,
And I still do this, waiting in line. There's the impatience can build if I'm waiting too long, but otherwise, if I'm in a line, waiting till the person across, on the other side serving, asks, is ready for me.
Right.
I mean, it's a simple thing.
It's simple,
but it's a good training ground. It's a good way to start at the lowest, simplest level.
It's like I said to the projectors last week, can you get a cup of coffee successfully? Let's start there. Not, let me tell you what I need. Let me tell you what I want. It's like, whoa. It doesn't matter what type. When you're coming at someone, it doesn't feel good. And it's amazing how out of touch everyone is with that. I mean, at the most simple levels, and this is where, we had people going to the coffee shop and asking the people that worked there to ask them what they wanted.
Could you ask me if I want this?
Yeah. Well, there's a line of people. It's like, okay, that's an awareness at a whole nother level. That's Anyway, so yeah, we hit that one. And guys, if it works for you, I don't care. Like I said last week, I think if balancing a ruby on your nose is the way you find your own, self-actualization, because you don't need human design to do this. I've met so many people that don't have a clue what their design is, with an incredible amount of passenger consciousness. I mean, an incredible amount. They don't have all the mechanics. They may not understand transference. I mean, like when my mind's beating me up, I understand what it's doing. I mean, there's tools. This is an incredible system, guys. Don't ever underestimate how magical this is. But at the end of the day, it's only about one truth, and that's yours. Don't speak until spoken to. Just see if your aura is doing the work, or are you pushing to try to get what you want. This is a great way to do it. And in the meantime, enjoy yourself. Knit, draw, journal, whatever. Get to know your sacral response. Does it make noise? I mean, like I said, your big ones, you make no noise. It's just like you suck the oxygen out of the room, dude. It's like I'm surfing a wave, and all of a sudden the wave just is gone, and it's a flat lake, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? Usually when I'm going on about, whatever I think I need, probably me, out of my backyard thinking I need to do something. Okay, does it make, does it move your body towards or away from something? Does it make faces? Does it use words? Guys, especially the generator, you are here to know yourself. How does this process work for you? Then I'm interested in talking to you. Then I'm interested in talking to you, especially if you're not trying to put your trip on somebody else. Because you'll know if you figure it out for yourself that everybody can figure it out for themselves. Catch yourself trying to make things happen. I mean, this is just all day long. I just watch people trying to get what they think they want. Are you frustrated, or do you feel a sense of satisfaction? Like, hey, I pulled out $200 and that was well spent. Yeah, well worth the price of admission. I mean, if you're not feeling that way in my class, please go away. If you're not going, wow, this is really worth the price of admission, both energetically and financially. notice the discomfort and do nothing anyway. Guys, what did I say? One of the first things one of the first bridges you're gonna have to cross is getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Because you've been in this pattern of letting, your open centers, which are speaking in your mind chemically before you're even conscious of the thoughts, telling you what you think you should do. It's a good reminder for me for the day, actually. That the open centers are chemically talking in your mind way before you're even conscious that you think that's your fucking thought. And to do nothing with that thought there is painful. And it does not, my experience is that this hasn't gone away, at least not for me, There's a lot of days that I get to sit being comfortable, being uncomfortable. And that was, I forget who it was, but that was the only thing valuable that I guess that a couple of the projectors got when we had that rave thing. We had 5 or 6 teachers. Few, if any, like each other, much less agree. And it was like all these different types, and they were like, they were laughing. They were like, dude, the one thing I got from you was how comfortable you made being uncomfortable. It was the most uncomfortable I have ever seen you, and somehow you looked relaxed. I was just like, okay, well, this is what I get to see. It's like, no, I don't agree with what anyone's fucking saying. I don't. And I know people aren't agreeing with me, but I'm not looking for it. I'm not trying to say I got this, guys. I'm saying this is an evolving, beautiful martial art in which you get to discover your own truth, and you have your own energy to have your own life, and then it's exciting. The sacral gives back more and more as they wait for life to come to them and then respond. The sacral gives, I see it with you when you get all down and depleted, and then and it's like, no, dude, we're done. We're fucking, and even sometimes because it's easy for either of us to get on that trip, and it's like, no, dude, it's done. It's done. Even though my mind would like to do more, and it's never good enough. We got a million different monkeys to deal with over here. But the energy's not there, and I'm certainly not going to push it, and I know that you won't push it now either. And so that you get that each time to look at each one of these things as your own unique battle, but it's not the whole war. Okay, and I know I use a lot of this mythological, warrior stuff, but dude, it's me. It's like each battle is its own battle. It's not, you don't need to win every battle. And you don't need to get yourself all more tense. This is what I see is people get themselves more tense with this information, trying to figure out, am I doing it right? Or does so-and-so think that I'm doing it right? Like, who cares what anyone else thinks? I had somebody that wanted to come today. No. And guys, really understand that this is very similar to the generator-projector relationship. Yes, we may be cutting a line into your energy. I admit it. I know that this is an energetic fact, that I go right in. I cut a line in there, dude, and I'm in there, surfing it. But on the other end of that, please understand that you're that we can get the shit pounded out of us at any time. And then, like I said, like in this picture, if all of a sudden the wave was gone, that's like your sacral node. It's like when the big ones aren't, there's no sound, it's just a cut. And it's like somebody turned the life force off and it's like you're left on dry land. Yeah, it's like it's like I'm sitting there on my surfboard on a lake sinking. So there is a symbiotic relationship between the projector and the generator, and have fun with that, guys. Have fun with that. All right, I think that's good for our lecture for the day. Isn't it? How'd I do? Time-wise.
Hour and 20, or a little less.
Yeah.